Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Radhe Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada गौर प्रेमानंदे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद शिवांग्री सभय चरणारविंद एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिराजकार्य स्तोत्र सत्य श्रीमद शिवांग्री श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासां ततो जयामृधीरहे नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवते उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. Reading from Srimad.Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 75, Text 30. Please chant. Ityaham Rajadharmo Sutta Amanoratha Mahanivrim Sudurshitham Samadutrayam Krishni Sadat Jagat Jivaraha Ityaham Rajadharmo Sutta Manoratha Manaviviram Sudarshitam Samadatraya Krishnena Sajagata Jvaraha Ityaham Rajadharmo Suto Manoratha Manaviram Sudarshitam Samadatraya Krishnena Sajagata Jvaraha. Please chant. Taham Rajadharma Suto Manorathana Mahavaram Sudashritam Samadritya Krishnena Shitgatajvaram Ityaham Rajadharma Suto Manorathi Mahajvaram Sudashritam Samadritya Hajaram Krishna Radhidhajaram. Mataji, you want to try? Taham Rajadharma Suto Manorathana Maharam Sudostritam Samadatriya Krishnena Sidgata Jvaraha. Okay, thank you very much. Word meaning. Taham, in this manner, Raja, the king, Dharma, of the Lord of Religion, Yamaraja. Sutam, the son, Mahanarata of his desires, Maha huge, Avarnarvam, the ocean, so very, Dushritam, difficult to cross, Samautariyam, successfully crossing, Krishnenam, through the agencies of Lord Krishna, Asit, he became Gatajwaram, freed of his feverish conditions. Translation and purport by disciples of His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Thus King Yudhishthira, the son of Dharma, was at last relieved of his burning ambition, having by the grace of Lord Krishna successfully crossed the vast and formidable ocean of his desire. Purport. The previous chapter of Srimad.Bhagavatam clearly explains that King Yudhishthira intensely desired to demonstrate to the world the supremacy of Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, and blessings received by those who surrender unto him. To do this, King Yudhishthira performed Rajasuya sacrifice, a very difficult task. Srila Prabhupada writes in this connection, in the material world, everyone has a particular type of a desire to be fulfilled, but one is never able to fulfill his desire to his full satisfaction. But King Yudhishthira, because of his unflinching devotion to Krishna, could fulfill all his desires successfully by performance of Rajasuya sacrifice. From the description of the Rajasuya Yajna, it appears that such a function is a great ocean of opulent desires. It is not possible for an ordinary man to cross over such an ocean. Nevertheless, by the grace of Lord Krishna, King Yudhishthira was able to cross over it very easily, and thus he became freed from all anxieties. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Gnananjanam Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namavom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pastyatya Deshatarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to everybody. Srimad Bhagavatam class. So here we see that finally King Yudhishthir Maharaj successfully fulfilled his desire of performing Rajasuya sacrifice. And it is not an easy task. So this chapter clearly entitles that when we see the performance of Rajasuya sacrifice is done by King Yudhishthir Maharaj, so many obstacles have been come. Finally, Shishupal was criticizing Lord Krishna. Then after the death of Shishupal, Maharaj Yudhishthira would able to perform the sacrifice. So one should understand that Everybody has a desire. Each and every living entity in this material world has a desire. Starting from ant, insignificant ant, to Lord Brahma. So everybody has desire. To fulfill that desire to the full extent, it is not possible. As it is mentioned in the here in this purport. But one is never able to fulfill his desire of his full satisfaction. Because the desires are endless. We cannot fulfill that desire. That's why Srila Narottama Das Thakur in his bhajan he says Vishaya Chadiya Kabe Shuddha Abhiman Kabe Hamamona was Sri Vrindavan. When will all my material desires and anxieties become diminish? So that I can able to relish the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, or I can able to relish the pastimes in Vrindavan. So ultimately, one should be having that goal. Of course, any work that is performed in this material world, it has five factors involved, as said in Bhagavad Gita. In the 18th chapter, 16th verse, it says, therefore one should think himself the only doer, not considering five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. A foolish person cannot understand that a super soul is sitting as a friend within and conducting his action. Although the material causes are places, first one is place, second one is worker, third one is endeavor, fourth is senses, finally sanction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We see here Yudhishthir Maharaj has a desire. What desire he has? He wants to demonstrate to the whole world that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it a material desire or spiritual desire? Obviously, spiritual desire, correct? Similar kind of a desire, we see that in Srila Prabhupada's life. Srila Prabhupada doesn't want to become famous. Srila Prabhupada doesn't want his name and his fame to be spread all over the world. But he wants to spread Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message, Krishna's message, Bhagavad Gita message to spread all over the world. But in fact, he has a spiritual desire. He has to undergo so many kinds of obstacles. First thing is his wife was not favor. She sold Bhagavatam for the sake of tea. And his family members, none of them were favor to execute Krishna consciousness. And finally, he took sannyas. And then, to preach a message of Godhead, first he sent letter to China. There is no response. And then again he wrote. He was sent to some other university, some other country, but there was no response. And finally, he decided to go to the West. And there also, he is looking for a sponsorship for ticket. And we see that he didn't get enough flight ticket. Obviously, he is in the cargo ship, and where the cargoes, goods were put in, and in that he has a two massive heart attacks and an old age. So we see that even though Srila Prabhupada had spiritual desire, but still there were so many obstacles. With his determination, with the strong faith in the spiritual master words, he fulfilled the desire. Similarly, King Yudhishthir Maharaj also, he wants, his intention is to not to become famous by performing Rajasuya sacrifice or to show his supremacy. His first thing is to put Lord Krishna as a supreme. That is his desire. And any work which we intend to perform, there are so many obstacles, and there will be a so much kind of challenging we come across. So that's why, in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, again 57th verse, it says, Cetasa sarva karmani mai sannyasa matparaha buddhi yogam upashita machita satatam bhava. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So we should understand that any activity we perform, of course, it should be a Krishna consciousness activity. Otherwise, we cannot think of Krishna. But any activity we perform, we should think of Krishna before beginning and while doing. Just by in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Arjuna, Ma manusmaranam yuddhacha. While you are performing your activity, always think of me. So Krishna stresses, always think of me, always offer service unto me. Machitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantasya mam nitatu santi cha majramanti cha and manmana bhavavan bhakta madhyadi mam namaskuru. So this verse is repeated twice. That means we should think that how important is. If somebody is repeating twice, thrice, we should understand the gravity of the you know person. What is he saying? He is not saying just to become famous or just to become center of attraction. He is saying, Lord Krishna is saying, we should understand that what is the importance of that. And also we see that in every activity what we perform, there will be some kind of a contamination. In the Bhagavad Gita again, 18th chapter, it says, 48th verse, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadosham apina tejet sarvam bhahi doshena duma greenena ivajata. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of faults. So, as a Brahmana, he should perform his work. As a Kshatriya, he should perform his work. As a Vaishya, he should perform his work. Even though it is not complete or not fulfilled. Lord Krishna is stressing this word because everybody in this material world who has taken in this birth, they has a particular kind of a tendency to serve the Supreme Lord. It's not everybody is the same platform. Just like we see in the pastimes of Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda has Vatsalya, motherly affection. Balram has brother affection. And Krishna's friends has Sakya, friendship affection. But the underline, what is that? Servant mode, service attitude. That is the pillar of the relationship. It's not that if you are becoming a friend of Krishna, you can override Krishna's instruction. But in friendship mode, how can you serve Krishna? Or in the brotherhood, how can you serve Krishna? Or in the mother, how can you serve Krishna? So that is the main theme. So here, even though King Yudhishthir Maharaj, he has all right to perform his activity, but we see that so much obstacles have come because to demonstrate whole world, even though we desire to do devotional service, there will be so much obstacles. While facing through these obstacles, how we perform the devotional service, that is the test for us. Just like we may pray that okay, there so much circumstances is not favorable to me, and family members are not favorable to me, or atmosphere or the place I am where living is not favorable to me to perform devotional service. So I cannot perform devotional service. I cannot do this. So I will give up. it is easy to be said. But we see that great devotees who are in middle of all crisis, they perform the devotional service. For example, in the Ramayana, we see that in the kingdom of Ravan, his brother, he was in the middle of all crisis. There were nobody devotees association there. There was no Bhagavatam class there, and there was no person who is speaking about Lord Ramachandra. But still, his brother, what is his name? Ravana's brother, huh? Vibhishan. Vibhishan. He performed his devotional service very nicely. He didn't have any association of the devotees. Sometimes we say that, oh, this is not practical, this is not practical. In course of saying this is not practical for me, this is not practical for me, we says nothing is practical. We end up giving our devotional service. But we get the lesson from Ravana's brother, Vibhishan. There was nobody who was speaking Krishna Katham, but still he was chanting the holy name of the Lord Ramachandra. And another example, we see the Prahlad Maharaj. There was nobody, even his father is trying to kill him. Still, he is performing his devotional service. Another example is Namacharya Haridas Thakur. He was getting beaten up in 21 marketplaces. For what? Not to chant the holy name. Correct. Here we have all favorable atmosphere to chant the holy name, but still there are so many challenges. Correct. Why? Because they realize these. It's not that we should imitate these great souls like Haridas Thakur and Prahlad Maharaj. No, these great souls are demonstrating they are demonstrating one thing. Even though you are in the middle of the so much challenging situation, obstacles, there is no favorable atmosphere, so much havoc, but you should never ever give up the holy name of the Lord or devotional service. King Yudhishthir Maharaj, we see that it is for us, it may seems like easy task. To perform Rajasuya sacrifice, it is not an easy task. We may understand theoretically, okay, to perform Rajasuya sacrifice, we need so much gold, so much of endeavor, or so much manpower. But it is beyond our conception, our imagination. That kind of sacrifice he is performing to what? To establish the supremacy of Supreme Lord. It is not to establish himself as a king, or to not to become a what you call famous, or Chakravarti, ruler of a whole world, but just to establish a king of. We see that in this connection, every particular living entity has a material desires. But to transform material desires into spiritual desires, we need the association of the devotees, holy name, Bhagavatam, and guidance of our spiritual master. Because there is no person that he says that I don't have any desires. If you, Srila Prabhupada says, if you have a no desire, that means you are like a stone. Stone does not have any desire. It can be material or spiritual desire. Everybody has a desire. To fulfill that full extent, it is not satisfied. For example, if a person has a desire to eat sweets, how much sweets he can eat? For example, if he likes gulab jamun or rasgulla, he can eat maximum 10. After that, he never sees a gulab jamun for 10 days or 15 days. Because after fulfilling such a desire to such an extent, he feels disgusted. He don't likes to do that. Anything you can take. Any example, just not only eating, just hearing. If you like a mundane music, how much you can hear for 10 times, 20 times, or every day. But after some time, you give up because that is a material thing. I'm talking about material, not spiritual. But whereas in the spiritual desires, the chanting the holy name, it can be done by unlimited. And because we see that every day we chant the Samsara Dava prayer from our many years together. It has been started before ISKCON also. When Srila Prabhupada starts, of course, we understand, we take it from when Srila Prabhupada established International Society for Krishna Consciousness. From that time till today, we chant the Samsara Dava prayers. It's not that of Srila Prabhupada's time we chant and after that we stop and we chant another prayers. No. The same thing with the Bhagavatam also. Srimad.Bhagavatam, we start first canto, we finished all the cantos. Now we are in 10th canto. After this, we start again first canto. Because this has a rasa, this has a bliss, this has the taste in this. But whereas material desire, we cannot satisfy till full extent. These words can be discussed for many, many days. Just like Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, he discussed the first canto, first chapter, first verse. I think it he took for 1 month, I guess, correct? Around 1 month, he discussed only one verse. Imagine how much nectar is there in that verse. But it is not that, okay, after 1 month he stopped. It can be discussed. That it is unlimited extension. We can fulfill the desires unlimited. Just like we chant Hare Krishna mantra, you know, at the time of initiation, we take a vow, we chant 16 rounds. It's not that, okay, for 1 year or 2 years, till we live our life. And before that, also, we chant. So, my point is that every material desire has its limitation, its end. It can be ended. Of course, it should be end because that is a material. But whereas a spiritual, it cannot be ended. That's what it says. In the material world, everyone has particular type of a desire to be fulfilled, but one is never able to fulfill his desire to his full satisfaction. But King Yudhishthira Maharaj, because of his unflinching devotion to Krishna, could fulfill all his desires successfully by performance of Rajasuya sacrifice. So we should understand that whether you have a desire or no desire, whether you have a material desire and a spiritual desire, we should surrender unto the Lord. Akamo sarva kamo bhya moksha kama udarita tivrena bhakti yogena yajete purusham para. So one should go to the Supreme Lord and fulfill the desire. And also we see that when we perform the any devotional act, it has much challenges, and Krishna is testing us our endeavor. Just like in the pastime of Damodara Leela, Mother Yashoda is trying her best to tie bound the Lord Krishna to a grinding motor. It is not that Mother Yashoda, when she took a rope and for the first time she was successful. No. Imagine Mother Yashoda's condition is like that. After trying so many times, Krishna got bound by her. But we cannot expect that, oh, while chanting Hare Krishna, immediately Krishna Prema should come within my heart within 1 day or 1 month or 1 year. It is, expectation is too much. Overly expected that, oh, I'm chanting Hare Krishna from last 10 years. Why my lust desire has not gone yet? Imagine Mother Yashoda, she tried many times after her endeavor, seeing the endeavor, Krishna get bounded. Mother Yashoda is not an ordinary person. It's not like she's a conditioned soul. She takes a birth after birth, then she somehow or the other by chance she got to be mother of Krishna. No, she performed many pious activities for lifetime. Then only she got an opportunity to be a mother of Krishna. Same with Devaki and Vasudeva. After performing many years of sacrifice, they are performed mother Devaki and mother Devaki and Vasudeva. They performed tapasya of being a wife and husband for 3 lifetimes. Tapasya means not just like ordinary tapasya, not eating, not sleeping, and standing on the leg. That kind of austerity, after performing severe austerity, they got a chance of getting their son as Krishna. What they asked, we want son like you. Krishna said, there is no like me. I am myself can be son of you. So after doing all this endeavor for 3 lifetimes, then what is the result? As soon as Krishna born, he was immediately taken to the Gokula. So imagine you do everything and finally result you don't see. Somebody will be able to get see that result. It is how hard immediately. But they harmonize their desire, whatever Krishna's desire is. It is not that they didn't ask Krishna, oh Krishna, we performed 3 lifetimes of sacrifice tapasya. As soon as you born, now you want to move to the Gokula. It is we use the word, you know what is called, it is unfavorable. It is not favor, and it is not good. We use all kind of this. It is not good on your behavior that you are moving away from us. It is so hard. Imagine like you do work in office for 30 days. At the end of the day, your boss says you will not get salary for this month. Your friend will get bonus. How it will be? It is unfair. You will say it is unfair, Krishna. But still, they harmonized their desire. They aligned their desire to the Supreme Lord. They did not ask, they did not question. So that should be the endeavor. That should be the mood. We serve, we give up the results. That's the meaning of karmanyavadikarasya ma phaleshu kadachanam. In the material world, people will take, you should do your duty. But at the same time, they should not expect the results. And it is very hard. Why? Because you put your energy, intelligence, and your time to do that. But at the end of the day, if you are asked to leave that, renounce that work, it is very difficult. How do you get that the mood, renouncing everything? By reading the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, conclusion of renunciation. So when you read that chapter, it is clearly describes what kind of renunciation you should be. When you read the scriptures, you will be able to do. Otherwise, theoretically, we cannot do. Just like if you are asked to construct a building or a house, you should invest your money, you should invest energy, and when work is done, when house is built, then you are asked to live. Means you'll is it be it can be easy? No, it is very difficult. So why we are discussing this? See, the point is here. I'm trying to say. So desires, having desires is not a bad thing, but we should have a spiritual desires. When you have a spiritual desires, you will see gold and stones in an equal level. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one should, who is a person who is a brave and wise person? A wise person is he who sees the gold and stone on the same level. So here we can understand, even though you're performing a devotional service, there will be so many obstacles, so many challenges, just like King Yudhishthira Maharaj faced. But still, when you desire that, to do that endeavor, to do that perform activity, then the result will be immense. And nobody can take that result from you because Krishna is pleased. When Krishna is pleased, whole world is pleased. So we should understand that every endeavor has some kind of a material contamination, but one should not give up that endeavor. So Maharaj Yudhishthira performed his sacrifice finally successfully. Are you facing all these challenges, all these obstacles, and it is compared to the ocean. He To perform the Rajasuya sacrifice, it is equal to crossing an ocean. He did very, very easily by the mercy of the Lord. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada built all over the world ISKCON uh, temples of Lord Krishna because he has unlimited mercy upon him by Lord Krishna. He also crossed the ocean to establish International Society for Krishna Consciousness, correct? He traveled in the cargo ship. He also crossed the ocean very easily. And that's why we are here now. Because Srila Prabhupada crossed the ocean, that's why we are here. If he could have not crossed the ocean, none of us are here. So we should understand how much endeavor he has done to establish Krishna as a supremacy and supreme personality of Godhead in the world. He just wanted, spread the mission of Krishna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. That's his endeavor. So now, after performing, he became free from all anxieties. Maharaj Yudhishthira. So Srila Prabhupada also, after performing his activity, instructions of spiritual master, he also, still last stage of his life, he was performing the devotional service, translating Srimad.Bhagavatam. So that is the taste of spreading the message of the Lord. One who got the taste of spreading the message of the Lord, he does not care for his circumstances, bodily comforts, or bodily needs, or whatever he may be. Till he leaves his body, he is performing devotional service. We see recently His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, till his leave last breath, he was performing devotional service because he got the taste. And also it has that potency. It is not that devotional service is a dry stuff. It has that potency. That's why great souls relish performing devotional service. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, one of the videos, even while he was sleeping, he was doing action, performing arti. Wherever you go, um, especially when Maharaj is here, he first Mangalarti done by him. So that is attachment towards the Krishna. So when we have that kind of attachment, at least when we desire for that kind of attachment, we start relishing that kind of a taste. Of course, initially we do it as a matter of a duty. Oh, I have to do Mangalarti, I have to do Rajvogarti, oh, I have to chant, oh, I have to read. Initially, we may do it because we promised our spiritual master or we promised our Siksha Guru. But in a process of doing, we come to the point where if we don't do, we feel lack in our life. There will be some lackage in our life. So that stage we will get when we try to do in a perfect with all our efforts, with all our conscious. That's why we should chant our rounds with consciously, not like mechanically. If we chant mechanically, we think that okay, when will I finish or when will I do that? You know. That's why we think that we are doing our devotional service. It is Lord within us is encouraging us to do the devotional service. Our devotional service is 0.09001%. Lord's endeavor is 99%. If we think that I'll chant, I will read, I will do, then you cannot last longer. If you think Krishna is making us to do, Krishna is within us to encouraging us, or Krishna is pushing within us to do, then your mission will be success. If you think I, in Bhagavad Gita again says, Ahankara vimudatmam kartaham iti manyate. So when you think that I am giving class, I am doing kirtan, I am do cooking, then naturally one day it will come but you cannot do anything. Then you realize that it is not that it is that Krishna's I. So then we will become free from anxieties. That's why when we are chanting, why there are so many desires are coming? Because we think that I think that I am chanting. Because there is no, we think that there is no endeavor for Krishna. Because Krishna is there within our body. Krishna is a life air. He is directing our chanting. If we think that I am the ahankara, I am doing, I will do, then we may end up in a, what you call distress. Oh, why should I do that? Tomorrow I will not do. Today I will not do. So that is the thing. So now it's 8:34. Let us see any discussion, comments, or questions we have.
Oh, I could not catch. What are the 5 points? You mentioned something about 5 points. Oh, like in the beginning of the class.
The five factors of the action. Five factors. Yeah, in the Bhagavad Gita, 18.16th verse, it says, therefore, one who thinks himself only doer, not considering the five factors, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. The five factors are place, worker, endeavor, senses, and finally the cause of supreme. You got it? See, first one is place. Okay. Second one is the performer of the doer, worker. Okay. And third one is his endeavor. And fourth one is his senses. And fifth one is a sanction of the Supreme Lord. So these five factors take place, then only any action can be performed. Therefore, if somebody thinks that I am the doer, not considering these five factors, he is certainly not an intelligent, and he cannot see things as they are. Just like we are having a Bhagavatam class here. One is person engaged, and place, and the endeavor of the speaker, and senses like I'm seeing, reading, and finally Supreme Lord's sanction. So these five factors are involved to perform any activity, whether it is spiritual or material. Who can see these five factors are involved? Only the person who is very intelligent, and only who person who knows the Supreme Lord is a cause of all causes. And one who cannot see is not an intelligent. It's not my words. It says you can read chapter 18, text 16. This says. And okay, five factors are there. What is the another thing which we should understand? Okay. In the 18th chapter, again, 57th verse, any activity. We should just depend upon Him. Obviously, devotees only depend on Krishna. Material people will not depend. They think that I am the doer. So any activity just depend upon Krishna and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So we should do that work with a think conscious of Krishna. And another point it says, another verse it says, every endeavor is covered by some faults, just as a fire covered by smoke. Therefore, one should not give up work born of his nature. O son of Kunti, even such work is full of faults. Just like here in the purport it says, even if one is Brahmana, he has to perform his sacrifice for the animal killing. And similarly, Kshatriya, however pious he may be, he has to fight with enemies. He cannot avoid it. Similarly, a merchant, however pious he may be, he must sometimes hide his profits to say in the business, I am giving only for discount for you. He will say that. Otherwise, he cannot make any profit. So these things as are necessary, one cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though a man is a Shudra serving the bad master, he has to carry out the order of his master, even though it should not be done. But despite all these flaws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duty, for they are born of his own nature. Got it? Okay. So any other things?
Like we say that we should feel protection of Krishna
Correct.
in every situation. So but for me it is very difficult when I am in distress or
Uh,
misery. So I come to that level that I am the doer because I
uh.
did that. That is why this happened. So how to feel that protection of Krishna?
For example, it is comes out of practice. Out of practice. Abhyasa yukta kaunteya. Krishna says, like anything, it cannot be done very easily, naturally. One is out of practice. First time you may not get it. Just like first time, if you're asked to stitch a garland, you may not know. Somebody has to train. Even after training, we may make some mistakes. But eventually we get there. Correct? As a natural condition shows, we may not able to think when time of distress, challenges, miseries, anxieties right away to Krishna. We may not, depend on Krishna. We may not think that Krishna is my protector. That thought may not come immediately, but over thinking by by constant remembrance, one we can get. Another thing is association of the devotees. If you are in distress, association of the devotee, the good association will say, okay, Krishna is there, Krishna will take care. He may say that at least, correct? And for our own self, we should think that how King Gajendra was protected. He was in distress. He was about to die. How King Gajendra elephant was protected. Who protected? Krishna protected. And how Prahlad Maharaj was protected? Krishna protected. And how Ajamil was protected. And how you know Yudhishthir Maharaj was protected. If you remind yourself, then naturally that mood will come. And also, person, if it is it is just like a natural thing. Like if you remind somebody, oh, so and so devotee, if you talk to him, you can say, oh no, you at that time I was in, I was facing these kind of challenges. You protected me. Can you help me again? You go and ask, right? If you go and ask him, definitely he will ready to help. And same thing, if it is comes again and again, you please go to that, you immediately your call goes to same person. If you have a question, you are asked to do this job, garland stitching, or any service. If you have a question, if you don't know how to do, or if you are stuck, immediately your call goes to the person who has trained you, correct? Because he has already trained you, then he can able to easily give you guidance. Similarly, we see that if you remind Krishna, oh Krishna, you protected Ajamil, you protected Dhruva Maharaj, you protected Prahlad Maharaj, then immediately he will come and give you protection. Correct? It is a natural tendency of a human to give some protection. If somebody, walking, if a little kid is walking, suddenly he fell down. It's a natural tendency. Kid may or may not ask, lift me up. But if it's natural tendency to go and lift the kid. Correct? That is there in everybody. Even though that kid is not your kid, somebody else's mother or somebody else's kid, naturally you feel compassion for that. The same compassion is there to heart of Krishna billions and billions of times. That's why mother, when Suniti heard from Dhruva Maharaj, I got hurt from Suruchi. This is what she said, harsh words, and immediately Suniti, what she says, I have only one heart, but Krishna has millions of heart like mothers. So it's naturally when a devotee is in distress and is not in a good situation, Krishna comes and gives protection. Just like if I gave an example, if a kid falls, immediately go and lift. It's not that it's not that kid is asking, kid is mine, is my grandkid, or somebody else's kid. No, irrelevant of who is he. Immediately go and lift him. That compassion is there within Krishna, provided you should be a devotee. you know like we are chanting, we are at least trying to be trying to be a devotee. Krishna will automatically gives you protection, but at the same time you should have a faith. It's not that okay, Krishna is not doing anything, let me change. No. That's why Mother Kunti, we see that she is not praying for the protection, she is praying for the problems. She is saying that, go Krishna, please give me problems, please give me challenges. Why? When problems comes, Krishna naturally comes, so that I can take your association. So it is comes eventually by the association of the devotees, by the association of the sadhus, by association of the like Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita scriptures. It is not that switch on the fan. When distress, like when we are in the summer, so much heat. You just switch on the fan or AC, immediately it cools. Our natural thinking, it doesn't comes like that. It has some endeavor. It should become, it should back up with some endeavor. Then only the remembrance of Krishna comes. That's why we should attend Bhagavatam class, Bhagavad Gita class, hear lectures on Srila Prabhupada lectures, Guru Maharaj lectures. That's why it is called regular Bhagavatam, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Then only that remembrance comes. When you don't hear, how can remembrance comes? When you don't hear some person about some person, naturally you don't remember him. If you hear so and so person regularly, then naturally remember comes. That's a mind. It's called muscle memory. When you hear somebody constantly, then muscle memory, what it says, it always automatically comes out. So my point is here. So eventually it will comes, not automatically, not like a robotic way, but to come that, we need to be in a good association of the devotees, regularly hear Bhagavatam, regularly hear the pastimes of King Gajendra elephant, and who are all mental distress. Then naturally, like just like an example, when you're stuck in some service, immediately your call goes to the person who has taught you. Similarly, when you are in problem, naturally your call goes to the Lord Krishna. Oh Krishna, help me. You don't need, of course, you don't need a phone. You don't need a number. A number is given, Hare Krishna mantra. Is it okay? Thank you. Okay, we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande.